Hello everyone, my name is Tony. Today I'm going to repeat this video. You woke up and all of you see is absolute chaos, billions of pieces of rock flying around, screaming, crying, and losing their minds. Oh, by the way, you're one of them. And that thing in the middle of all is laughing evil wizard we call the sun. But at this point, he's just a baby. Congratulations, you're the Earth 4.5 billion years ago. Your trauma starts now. Over the next 60 million years, you will get smacked into the face over and over. A lot of rocks made some ice. Not only the sun dishing it, but also the other large planets try to find the right spot to actually settle down in the solar system. Uh-oh, well, after the final row, you know out, you fully form at this point. It's you, Mercury, Venus, Mars, and Theia. It's the rocky inner planets in the solar system. And after the rocky beginning to your life, you could use the peace of quiet, but without doing anything wrong, you immediately assault again. Expect this time, it's a planet. They just try to kill you, but you survive. She didn't. And you're also on fire as well. While you all have becoming a modern bubbly sphere of lava, hurtling through space and basement of Tia's corpse are floating around you, much like you were movies, and you spill your welcome the rest of the fear. Next is you, Wonder Duo in the coalition. Your inside explodes, your surface smells because you're basically like a mix of oil and water. You're going to really from the inside out. The most stands of the middle, least stands at the top. Oh, you're also now chilling to the side forever, which means it will be 4 seasons in Earth in the future. And no, not this one. At this point, the elements of iron and nickel start to tickle, and you laugh and sink into the center of your body, forming a core. And this core is going to separate you from all other planets. It will basically give you permanently superpowers, which means it's got even better than David Goggins. They sacrificed herself so you could live and live well, even if technically it was an attempt murder. You proposed thought is clear. To survive the solar system for Tia and to try to do something remarkable. That makes you become the best planet. When you see how it turns out though, because in order to circuit, you're going to have to go through even more serious. You try to breathe and immediate to prepare yourself for what is coming, and surely it can't be worse than the first 100 million years of life you just experienced. However, you're not off to a good start. The atmosphere you created is garbage. It's just hydrogen and helium. And the sun, he controls the supply of those elements. And so he blows away your atmosphere like a birthday candle. You let him know how rude you think that was. Oh, by the way, the meantime, the ash, the Tia have now formed into the moon, which is also just a molten little ball of mega. At this point, right now, we can finally begin our life proper. Oh, what now? The solar system tracks every remaining rocks you can find, your face, and all the other planets' faces. They call it the late heavy bombardment. And because you're a tiny raw planet, it means you're no cover in creators, no smooth surface, just brushes all over. But good news, it will heal eventually. Mostly you will continue to hit and have to face fearing it for the next 100 million years. Eventually, the light heavy bombardment does end and you start to harden. The moon has cooled but still has zero personality, and stares aimlessly at you. She also never turns her face away, ever. Just a little bit creepy. A curse or the surface layer from the actual face, which will allow you to create some ocean. This will from therefore run to make a little bit help from the comet because of this you want a really simple life that seems peaceful if you're free. Happy. Some more time passes, you focus to how exactly you can stand out in the solar system and become the best planet. And after most of the billion years of living, you now also learn from your previous mistake and create a much better atmosphere using volcanoes to help. Caesar core and still liquid metal, which helps create a first magnetic field. They will protect you from sun permanently trying to blow away from this atmosphere. Tick. Eventually, well, in another 2 billion years or so, you core both solid and liquid metal giving your magnetic field a juicy boost up. This will shield you from all the evil radiation that might harm you, and it's also created aurora light show for anything that lives on your surface. That's awesome. Damn good work. Well done. Remember, in order to become the best planet in the whole system, you're going to have to do more than this. Fortunately, you're in a location that's the solar system, the habitable zone where all that water you have will remain as a liquid. Unlike Pluto, who's frozen solid, remember that peaceful life that was on you before those accident microbes. Big mistake. These guys envelop into the full-blown bacteria infection, even photosynthesis, and started pumping oxygen into new atmosphere. You just created a problem. As oxygen is literal poison to everything alive at that time, including themselves. Within a few million years, 99% of life is dead, meaning that you're back at zero, becoming a habitable planet. The moon laughs at you. But the problem is, oxygen reacts your atmosphere. The only thing keeps you warm and boom, snowball Earth. You freeze all the way from the completely from pole to pole. Welcome your first global ice age, and I hope you like taste of frosty because you're going to be an ice cube for the next 300 billion years. Actually, you're tall. You're like, wow, cool. You start, but then your face cracks. Literally, these are your terminal plates, which look like giant slabs sliding around you, clash into each other, and sometimes disappear under the ocean and themselves. Turns out you had these for quite a while, but they're just revealing themselves. This is your life now, forever. You go through options like the character creation screen, Barbara, Cameron, Columbia, Rudiner, and there will be few of these separate continents in your future as well. No, this isn't quite of the superpower you have in mind and eyes. Yes, it will cause somewhat severe idiotic creases. Imagine never knowing you will see when you look in the mirror. Like Instagram filters, except it's real. It gets better for you though. Let's get it. Mountains explode out of your rush volcanoes, poop lava for millions of years, earthquakes constant. Basically, you have a flu all the time. But here's a kicker. This chaos is only reason the life survive all the keeps climate stable. It makes ecosystems. So basically, you suffer. So everyone else thrive. And now the bacteria from before has returned from almost extinction. And lucky not only more complex, it's also going to spread all over you. The moon live you again for the next 1.5 billion years. So life will evolve, life will change, and all you will become frozen again. You will eventually melt, but then you also freeze and again 3 times. You also generate another separate continent called Ponosha. Look, you are not happy about this whole situation, so it's time for you to do something about it. But before you can find a way proven life for destroying you, let's get even more habitats. Over time, those tiny bacteria become weird multicellular organisms. They have shells, eyeballs, and legs, and before you know it, the covering explodes, hits you suddenly. You cover in non more bugs squishy, and there are things that creatures with way too many eyes. So on top of having the parent food, you also have a full-blown barn infestation. And oh, by the way, you're 4 billion years old now. So this has been going on for way too long. You have absolutely had enough. You want to be the best planet on the solar system, and this isn't doing it for you. Time for some massive extensions. First, you start with the obvious extents. 60% of life underwater dies thanks to some losing ice age. Not bad, not bad, but life still came back. Okay, so you try dinner extents. Now, 70% of species are wiped out, partly thanks to trees messing with atmosphere and sucking up to too much CO2. You take credit away. Anyway, yet you have a new separate continent in Pangaea, and life comes back. Time for big guns. The period extends, otherwise known as the Great Die. You got so angry that you basically unleashed thousands of fish and volcanoes in your own face. For millions of years, 83% of life gone. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Time to finish this after tragedy extends. Some more volcanoes, a bit more global warming, and some more acid oceans. This almost does the job. But those dinosaurs survive. They'd be tough to take out. For at least final extents, the crucius, you need some help. You whisper to Jupiter, "Hey, you busy?" The sky goes dark. Even is also on fire. Like everything else, your ocean turns to acid again. Now, if this detox won't do it, you don't know what to do next. Every time life started to get food for itself and annoying for you, there's a way to end it, but always find a way to survive. At least there are no more dinosaurs, but hello mammals. These are different though. Ancient more, they don't like each like trillions of bacteria or give heritage like thumping dinosaurs. Maybe this is the move. You can actually think exist. You don't even care about being the best planet anymore. You're just so tired. You doze off for 65 million years and just as you're getting some peace while you think of what you want your life to be. Then something walks upright and ruins everything. Humans. The start in Africa spread everywhere, built cities, even microwave and cargo sorts. Then they start dig in the ground, lining, lining the fossils of all the life you kill, which give you a nasty asthmatic reaction to what they call in the industrial revolution. Then they start flying around like locusts, landing on other planets and whistling through your beautiful atmosphere. And all the burning they do starts to heat you up fast. Some humans are actually blaming you. Imagine that you're shaking with a horrific fever. You look over at Venus. She was once beautiful, now she's gone, hot and boiling. That looks like it might also be your future. Literally, ice melts, weather breaks, animals vanish. Turns out you just need it. Life to causes its own extinction. At least the early bacteria was chill. These guys invented stupid reality TV and morning routines consisting of drinking bubbly water and drunking your face in ice balls. Well, the good news is that eventually they all perish and oh, of course, last minute they solved the problem. Yay! Well, guess you're stuck with them for the next however long they live. You are protected and stripped of all resources as they form an empire in the solar system before abandoning you. You hated them before, but now you're full of depressing realizing there's just is literally no point to living. Nothing you've done meant anything. Nothing that will happen to you will ever mean anything from this point on. And so you kept extending 1 billion years later. You end up looking like some sort of brown reddish orange Venus dual to the sun's increasing brightness, making you really hot. 5.5 billion years later, the sun will decide to swell into a red giant. You boil. Your remaining ocean vanishes. The atmosphere burns away. The surface turns to glass. You feel none of it. And when the sun collapses into a white dwarf, you're a cold rock. No water, no life, no atmosphere. Forever. Sad. At least your story isn't as bad as Pluto's. Like to feel even more unhappiness. Thank you for listening and goodbye.